so pleased to be here today with my brother, Tim Stahl, our Senior Director of Pre-Sales Engineering. Say hi, Tim.
Hey, everybody. Good to
And
be
we're
here.
also so stoked to have our great partners from System Micro here. Dennis, can you introduce us?
Absolutely. Happy to see everybody here. We're really excited to show our new product. I'm Dennis Compson. Lead our service delivery organization. I have the honor of having Atif, our managing partner, and I'm Max, who is our lead developer on this project.
Very cool. Tell us a little bit about System Micro.
Absolutely. So we've been in business since 2008, and we're a leader in business and technology consulting. We bring with us decades of BPM experience. We leverage state-of-the-art technologies, and we build SaaS solutions for our clients. We are a system integrator. So we are a proud decisions partner since 2019. We've been implementing low-code and no-code solutions since 2008 and watched them evolve to the amazing state they're in today. We are specialists as well in process automation, data insights, API, app development, and of course, SaaS solutions for our clients.
And today we're going to highlight your student lifecycle management platform that you built in using the Decisions platform. But before we get into that, folks, just want to make a few quick plugs about what we've going on right now. Submerse are amazing 3-day live in-person deep dive training events that we hold all over the world. In fact, right now we have a team in Singapore, which is pretty amazing. And October the 14th through the 16th, we'll be having our first virtual Submerse training. A lot of our customers and prospects and people that are interested in the platform that haven't been able to make it to one of our events will now have a virtual opportunity to do so. And then November the 12th through the 14th, we'll be back here in the beach at our headquarters. Great time to come to the beach. All the tourists have gone home. It's not too cold. And be sure that you check us out at decisions.com/events, including next week's webinar coming up, Optimizing Claims Billing with AI automation and process mining. And then I will be in Las Vegas next week at the InsurTech Connect conference. And we also have a team that will be in Austin the 12th through the 13th at Connected Claims 2024. Looks like you guys are going on the road too, Dennis. Where are you guys going to be?
Yeah, not necessarily on the road, but maybe just down the road, down to downtown Toronto. So no beach. Unfortunately, it's a little cold for the beach here, but we'll be down at MedTech conference. So we're really excited to see some of our medical community, our MedTech, and of course, pharma clients at MedTech.
Very cool. Very cool. So, as I alluded to, my name is Danny Torbett. I'm the analyst relations manager for your Decision. So, I'm the guy that talks to Gartner and Forrester and the Everest Group. And recently, we were named a major contender for process mining in their peak matrix assessment for 2024, which is really exciting. And speaking of process mining, if you're going to be at the ITC show, and you happen to be watching this, please come by the booth because we're actually offering some free process mining services. So if you have any questions during today's session, please don't hesitate. Just pop them right into the chat. We like a spicy chat here at Decisions. Got plenty of folks on here from Decisions to answer those questions for you live and in real time. But of course, we'll have, Q&A at the end as well. So a quick setup for what we're going to cover today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Decisions no-code automation platform. We're going to talk with our guests today about the student lifecycle lead management solution and the use case and a demo around that, and we'll take some Q&A. So without any further ado, let me get to a little bit about Decisions. What is Decisions? Decisions is a no-code automation platform, and our core value is that we allow you to build complex software quickly without writing a single line of code. These are the 5 pillars of automation, the tools that we provide in the platform for you to build any enterprise application. The first is a rules engine, and that's a system that allows users to define, manage, and execute business rules. It enables businesses to keep logic consistent and centralized. The second is integrations, to be able to weave a connection between all of your apps and systems, breaking down silos, ensuring data flows smoothly, accurately, and in real time. It also comes with a workflow manager, which facilitates the creation, management, and execution of business workflows, allowing tasks to move from one step to the other based on a predefined criteria. Process mining, as I alluded to a little bit earlier, it gives you the ability to examine event logs and help discover process patterns, identify bottlenecks, and optimize those processes. And then finally, we provide an interface designer, so you can offer intuitive and efficient experiences to your users and customers without having to know how to write a single line of code. There are three areas of automation where we really shine. And the first one is that pure business rules or decisioning application. Our rules engine gives you a place to centralize business logic and expose that logic to business users to edit and maintain using graphical design tools. It gets the logic out of stored procedures, web pages, custom code, your team's heads, and puts it in a place where you can easily change it and maintain it without diving into the code. It's an enterprise class rules engine that's capable of millions of transactions a day across thousands of rules in areas like medical claims processing, insurance underwriting, and mortgage processing. The next use case is what we call extend and expand. I think that this is a great example of this use case, what we're about to see today. It's really common when we work with a customer that already has a lot of major out-of-the-box projects that need to be part of their automation solution. It can be CRMs, ERPs, databases, or other products that are built to handle a specific part of the process. Decisions is designed to integrate with these solutions out of the box and automate the special processes that these systems don't do well. Things like human-in-the-loop approval processes, for instance. To do this, we have several ways to integrate with your existing system landscape. We have several out-of-the-box integrations. I think we're up to about 80 or so for some of the ones that you see listed here and most of the common business applications out there. But most importantly, Decisions is an open API platform, which means we can talk to pretty much any modern software platform. If you have a specific system that you're wondering about, pop it into the chat. We'll answer it for you live time, but 99.9% of the time, that answer is yes. Finally, taking the previous step a little bit further, we often act as an orchestration layer between different applications. So if you have several different applications that you have users and data in, you can use Decisions as kind of a middleware to bring in data from one application, trigger an activity in another, or populate an outcome in yet another. So our most common use case is to act as an orchestration layer between various software applications or services, and then engage end users in workflows that cross those application boundaries. If you found some of that interesting, thanks for your patience during the salesy bits. Reach out to us at sales@decisions.com to spend some time with one of our crack sales engineers like Tim to see how the Decisions platform could help automate your business. All right, on to the good stuff. Gentlemen, we are so lucky here at Decisions because not only is Tim a really smart guy, an amazing developer and user of the Decisions platform, but he has deep industry experience in what we're talking about today in higher education. Tim, thanks so much for making some time for us today, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
How long were you in education?
Yeah, about 20 years between two different institutions here in the US, the Southern US.
Nice, nice. Why don't you introduce our guests?
Yeah, absolutely. We're here working with a great partner of ours at System Micro, and I'm joined by Dennis, who's leading this effort here with this new application that they built. Dennis, you want to say a couple words?
Yeah, absolutely. Really happy that we have everyone here, and we're really happy to be able to demo the first module in our ERP. We have we've pulled together our student lifecycle lead management platform, and we'll be showing that after we go through a couple slides. I promise there's only 3.
I love that. It's a mercifully short deck. I always love that. Let's talk about some of the challenges that these institutions are facing in managing the life cycle of a student.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, having gone through a lot of this over the years, having worked not only in the financial side of the house, but in the enrollment side of the house. There's a lot of challenges with higher education institutions. They are a city unto themselves in a lot of cases. They have a ton of different departments that are all working supposedly together towards a common goal, but they're all doing it a bit of a different way. And when you have something like that with disparate departments and disparate solutions over a span of 30, 40 years, you can imagine the amount of fragmented applications you end up with, the amount of the same apps you end up with across campus. It leads to a ton of problems, right? Some of the major problems you see within in institutions like this are manual and error-prone data entry. You started off 20 years ago with someone literally taking a piece of paper, reading off of it, and typing it into a computer to get the data in. And over time, you can understand that would be very error-prone. You have fragmented workflows across multiple tools. The admissions department might use one tool to do one thing. Enrollment or registration may use a different one, and your backend ERP may be something even completely different. And all of those have a different workflow, a different path they take, and a different outcome based on it. And then take that and have data synchronization on top of it because someone at the top realized, gosh, we have all these systems all over campus. I'd love to see a roll up of my enrollment across these different systems. So now you're plugging all these holes and trying to get everything interconnected amongst those systems, and it just becomes an absolute mess.
Dennis, what are some of the other challenges that you see here? I see high price points and multiple single point solutions. That sounds kind of like a nightmare.
It definitely is. I think one of the things we're really aiming to do when we look at the educational landscape, we look at our large universities. So, say in Canada, a U of T or Harvard, Yale in the U.S. as an example, um, we see that obviously there's some decent high-priced solutions, and they tend to be ERP based.
Hmm.
They are tend to be multiple millions of dollars, and I think part of our major aim here is to really democratize technology and really drive that technology to all institutions. One of the trends we're seeing here in Canada, and I'm assuming you guys are in the US as well, is a bit of what we call career colleges or smaller institutions that maybe don't have such a massive budget, but they still need a solution for their students. They still need a good experience for their students. And then you also see a lot of what we call regional colleges, right? City colleges, et cetera. And I think again, the process is quite mixed up right now. So my daughter just started this year as an example. There was so much error and problems in her record. We had to go into the college to actually get it sorted out and spend 4 hours. I took a half a day off work to do it.
That's insane. It's 2024. How can that be?
It happens. And so part of that orchestration layer and that piece that we're leveraging here is really being that sort of system integration layer, bringing together the challenges and complexity of that educational landscape of tools. We'll get into that in the next slide a bit, but definitely to bring that together and really to provide an overall visibility, sort of top down for those administrators on what's happening in their institution.
That sounds like a lot of the same common challenges that we hear really across all industries, right? With multiple systems, disparate systems that don't talk to each other, and error-prone manual processes. Tell us a little bit about what we're about to see.
Absolutely. So today we're going to cover the top bubble, which is, of course, our student lifecycle lead management module. It's part of a larger suite. They are Experience ERP. In terms of the overall suite, obviously we fill that CRM piece. That piece can talk to other applications as well. So it can talk to your Lucien's, Workdays, et cetera, because we don't expect everyone's going to displace what they're doing right now. But what we do offer is a very purpose-built solution that's very much tailored to education. It's not going to run your sales pipeline. It's going to run your education prospective students pipeline up to the point where they get into admissions. In that sense, we have a number of systems we have to hook in with. We've got financials in ERP. We've got our existing SMIS systems, which I talked about. We've got that digital classroom experience, which obviously, Tim, when you and I went to university and college, was not a thing. Now it very much is that sort of Slate and Bright space, and there's a number of other players out there. That all has to be kind of centralized into the equation. We've got this little thing called machine learning and Gen AI that maybe has taken the world by storm. And obviously, that's a key piece for us in helping us process data. And then, of
Mhm.
course, within certain countries, Canada included, EU included, Asia, we have student enrollment brokers where a student doesn't necessarily go directly to an institution. They apply through a third party broker that's sanctioned by the government. And
Oh,
so,
interesting.
so we obviously have a lot of things we have to talk to. The key message to that diagram is really seamless integration, being part of that educational ecosystem and having the capability to centralize it. The next thing is a premium experience that we have for the facility team. We feel that right now the facility teams face a myriad of different solutions. It's quite difficult. They might have 6, 7, 8 tools that they work with. We
Right.
want to bring a more of a premium, beautiful experience to them to make their day a little bit better and allow them to focus more with the students. And then last but certainly not least, I think probably most important is that friendly and powerful student experience, empowerment and self-service. So right now there are solutions out there that do it. They tend to be fairly complex. I couldn't figure them out, and I'm a computer science major and I've been in the industry for 25 years.
Right.
We really, really need to bring a simpler experience to our students so that they can focus on what they need to focus on, and that's their education.
Yeah,
It's interesting too.
absolutely. As I think about the experience from the institution standpoint, if you've ever worked in a job where you have to log into multiple different systems to work on the same piece of work that's touching all these different systems, is just an absolute efficiency suck. Really cool. Let's take a look at like what that gets you, right?
Absolutely. In past experience, I've kind of called the first concept system of record. And what I
Mhm.
mean by that is essentially what is your true source of data? So grades, student records, student health records where appropriate, immigration records if needed, all of those complexities that happen when you're dealing with local students, out of province or out of state students for the US and or international students. And so what this really is a master role or a master student data source that follows the student through their life cycle because the needs are different as we go from lead, we move into admissions, we start to collect more information, they start to go through their educational career, they graduate, now it becomes historical record. And of course we have alumni as well in every institution, and that's important too because they come back and they spend more money on courses. So bringing that together, and we call that an active student data governance model. And what that means is we have that concept of data flowing through the relationship with the student. And then the one of the most important things is that experience for students. I'll give a simple example. Try to book a locker in a college, for example, my daughter did. You've got to go to the parking portal, which is hidden under about 5 menus.
A
Doesn't
parking.
really make sense.
No.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's funny too. When you start talking about these experiences, if you're driving a student to a portal, they've got to log into a laptop. They got to go out, swim out to some website to find. They're not going to do it. Like it needs to be very seamless. It needs to be mobile first. It's got to work on your mobile device. Otherwise, they're simply not going to do it. I can't blame them. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm 55 and I don't. Yeah, don't ever send me to a portal.
Absolutely. And so the experience has to be beautiful and
Yeah.
simple and approachable, and it should raise up all the simple things that you need. Like when you go for your getting your RESPs here as an example in Canada, you have to have a letter that says
Mhm.
you're enrolled and admitted. Try to find that on most of those portals. I don't know what you call it in the US, Tim, but in Canada, it's very complicated, right? All of that should be top and center, and the platform is customizable. So a key thing is our Canada's education is different than the US, is different than South Africa, is different than the Middle East.
Right.
The key tenet to what we're building is that it's extensible and it's customizable for the standards, if I can use that term, of that region, right? So different things that happen. And I know, Tim, in the US it's a bit more fragmented, and so the customization is even more important. It's the ability for us to tailor that to anything from a Harvard to a career college, right?
Right.
It's the other ability to be able to push and reduce that administrative burden through process automation. Because again, anytime you have to double key something, you will have a percentage of errors. It's a guarantee. So
Right.
bringing that out, pulling that out from a central integration hub, being able to say, okay, pushing it to the right places and you know the data is accurate.
Mhm.
And then, of course, all that results in cost savings. And that cost savings goes directly back to the student, back to the student body. And that's a tool that effectively gets out of the way, if you will, for the student and lets them do what they need to do to learn.
Right.
Well, the other thing you can consider with these is, admissions is only part of the problem, right? Getting a lead, getting the student in, getting them admitted is part of it. And the less administrative burden you have on the admissions staff to make that decision is the faster that they can get that decision out to the student. You may have the student who's applied to 5 different universities or colleges. You want to be that first one that told them yes. They're going to get that letter in their hand. Yeah, I know some people still mail it, but they're going to get that email or that push notification that they were accepted to U Waterloo, and they're going to go, "This is where I want to go." They're the first one. This place loves me, and
Mhm.
because you made that beautiful experience, they were able to easily navigate that process. The administrative staff was easily able to easily admit them, and they were the first to market. But the second thing from that
Absolutely.
is, I said admissions is only part of the problem. You have to contend with summer melt. So anything you can do to keep up that communication with the student between the point of admission and the point of registration, and then day one, them actually showing up for class, anything you can do to keep that communication open with the student, ensure that they follow through on those commitments, it just makes the experience even better and better for the university as a whole as well.
A beautiful
Yep,
experience. I love that. Very cool.
absolutely.
Max Jones is going to be driving the demo bus today. Max, it's great to meet you. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, and I'm extremely happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for making some time for us. Before we get into the good stuff, tell me a little bit about your past. Are you were a professional full stack developer before you even started working with the Decisions platform? Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been really lucky to be here for just over a year, where I'm using Decisions, and as the years progress, I made more and more connections, realizing the relation to traditional development and what
Mhm.
we have here at Decisions. Through how quickly I can pull up new projects to understanding complexities through anyone at the company, we've been quite successful in using this tool.
I love it. They say well, we don't have any hard and fast numbers or statistics, but should we're somewhere in the 3 to 5 times faster than traditional application development. Does that
Absolutely.
sound crazy to you?
No, I agree.
Experience?
No, especially the beginning is highly influential. It's very quick.
I love it. Why
Yeah,
don't you share your screen and show us what you guys have got?
absolutely. Before I do, I'll introduce myself. My name is Max, like we said, and I am a no code and full stack developer. I'm here with System Micro today, and we're excited to introduce to you our student lifecycle management system. But in particular, we're going to be looking at one of our modules, the lead management system. And we're going to look at and track about how we can guide a prospective student into our lead management system and then through to our experience ERP. The ERP includes modules like admissions, where we can get them signed up and enrolled. But today, the platform will represent an institution seeking new leads, and we're going to explore the system, see how we can create some new entries, and see what it takes. But before I go ahead and show the way to make a new lead, let's log in. Let's show you the portal as our highest privileges as a lead admin and learn exactly what's at our fingertips. So here we go. Awesome. So please enjoy. This is our dashboard, and as I've logged in, I am given all of my quick numbers right at the top. And I can see everything from the fact that we have our total 20 leads, 9 of them being new, 3 of them being converted. I can go through here and really understand a good starting plot to me and what I have to get through. Even though I am the highest privileges, I do see all of the leads. Now, I later will be setting profiles and managing assignments for my employees where they will have different restrictions and they will see different data, but we all live on this really great dashboard where everything really begins. So we collect pretty basic data at the beginning. It is about who, what, where, when, and how can we make this even more simple? So before we go and look at some of that data, let's look at what I can understand by it. And some of these really great analytics are provided through the engine of decisions. And I'm able to provide all of my entries as they grow and show some really basic yet effective integrations and analytics about my platform. Again, so this would represent an institution in a whole. So they may have a really diverse set of programs that they want to market, or different services if they had things like accommodations to worry about. We can track it all by the inquiry. I want to show you just an example of how advanced we can get with some of these graphing. If I maybe in particular wanted to see the data from a specific country, outside of just seeing how many users I have in that one table, I can actually filter my entire dashboard by it. And now I can see all of my progress in Canada and understand all of them were no military, most of them being in computer science, or they're all coming from Facebook, which is another example of a lead integration. I'll clear the filters and let's look at the data. Right here on the screen, I'm just hiding the communication right now, but before we take a look at that, these are all of my rows and my leads directly in my system. And let's ingest some of this information. It is split up into the three that we have currently defined that would be a good representation, but it is defined to your institution. We wanted their accommodations. We grouped them in other, or more specifically, because I will be doing a lot of marketing for programs, I have a big program section here. And let's look at this data. I have their name, where, what program they were interested in. That will be very important to me into understanding who I can assign to best help this person. I can understand where they came in from. Some of the examples we can use is embedding the lead form right into social media posts, or another one being from an internal lead. I can show you our lead generation. This form, currently stylized to our requirements, can be embedded into any existing infrastructure like your own contact page or your own marketing or your website. We're ready.
You can make it look and feel however the institution wants it to.
Absolutely. Not only that form, but this entire experience.
Nice.
We've gone ahead and kept it internal to us, but whether it's one piece of this system or especially as time goes on and you learn more about our modules, there's a place for every of them, and we're ready to adapt to what you have to offer too and where we can fit in. But one piece of information is always making sure communication is up to date between me and my lead. A lot of these being a brand new query. This one I can see a subject is about an accommodation. This new lead comes in and the person was wondering about the fee structure. That's just one scenario of the communication, but here at the highest level, we don't get to have that personal feel or even a visual feel of a one-to-one relationship I have with my leads. Me being an admin, I'm far too high of a level and have far too much responsibilities to keep a track of all of these leads. So what I can do is we can use automation and profiling through rule sets, which are defined reasonings, to pretty much assign new leads coming into our system, again, no matter how they were coming in, to make sure that they are assigned to a manager and getting taken care of.
That is so much better than just like round robbing the
Absolutely.
leads. I mean, to make sure that that student ends up with somebody that's got the specialized knowledge to make sure that their experience is the best.
Yeah, and we can get quite complex. I'll show you in a moment. We can do anything from unique tags that we know that they're international. So we can get a specialist that does immigration, or if your requirements or your restrictions were due to financial aid, we have any different pathway to make sure you're assigned to the right person. But for today, I'm definitely going to go for a simpler type here. So I'll show you the profiles I created, but let's read what it evaluated out to here. in my process, when a lead is come into the lead management system, again, their information is analyzed and we need to pick that person. So before I go and make a lead and I know who to assign it, it will be assigned to and we can manage them, let's understand how we could get there. Now, through these two, if I was to go and make a lead and that person was interested in a program in computer science, you can see I've split explicit rules for our demo today that our lead manager 2 is going to catch that assignment and it will be under their profile. To better understand that, we do have a simple page here where I can actually go to my manager specifically and I can set up new responsibilities if I chose to. So obviously, I would like to keep this one person. Maybe if they were a tech specialist outside of this, we can create very personal profiles on growing dynamic data, like you'll see with our tags, or preset defined rulings with restrictions. The sky's the limit there.
Very cool.
Awesome. I'm super excited now to distinguish kind of like a middle part here where we're going to switch the view and make a lead of a prospective student, maybe right off the street receiving information through marketing. In this choice, we're going to go through social media. So let's log out of our system here. And I want you to take them to this post and have it represent the institution through marketing. So if I represented that one and I have this amazing new course being released and I need to make sure that students know about it, never mind students that I don't even have enrolled yet. So I'm going to make this post and I'm going to say that I have such exciting news, guys. We need to get you in to learn about our course. And in this option, they chose to forward the traffic into our existing infrastructure. Like I said before, if you had something to stand on, we would integrate it into you, and we can move that traffic back to decisions if needed. But let's go ahead. Let's do it. Let's click on the link. And you're given this form that you have become familiar with. It could be a standard that we could define for you. I'm going to set those requirements in a mode that would actually be an international student, for an example. Let's create this very detailed profile that I'm going to give my manager some reasons to actually need to manage me, to pay attention, to like facilitate that need and show importance. Let's say the institution was placed in the United States and I'm from Canada, meaning I'd be an international student requiring different preset needs. I'm going to let them know that I'm interested in computer science, like you know, so we can catch that lead. And I'm just a fresh high school student saying, I just graduated and want to study abroad. I'll fill in some basic details. Their name was John. Just descriptors here, basic information. Sorry. And then we'll foil them in. So phone number less required, but what's very important to me today is I'm going to put in my personal email address so that you can actually see the type of automation we have working here. Let's submit this lead. Amazing. It actually happens instantly here, where on my email, I can see a personalized marketing directly towards John. We knew that John was interested in computer science at our institution. We provide John with a point of contact, a phone number, but little does he know that in the behind the scenes, we're already working on John's submission. We understand his lead, and someone has picked up his responsibility, his assignment. Let's go take a look at it. And then we get to visually see how we can help John.
I love the call to action right there too, to start the application, right in those communications. And you're so right about approaching people on social media for these types of things.
Absolutely.
My email is so clogged up. I barely look at it anymore.
That's important to notice that we account for that. So we'll take in your emails and we use some really great tools to analyze it. So we're able to analyze that email and use AI services to remove the junk and actually be able to get enough information and make that entry into the system and then begin contact.
Very cool.
Very cool. In a quick moment there, all I did was I logged in at the manager I knew would pick up the assignment, which is lead manager 2. And if you're looking to stay familiar, all of our dashboards are the exact same, except my data is only relative to my assignments as this lead manager. Now I have the ability to move that around and I can seek other information and grow. And since all this data is internal, it's here, but we're talking about privacy. So he'll make his same assumptions in management and say, hey, I have a new lead. I see this. I went up one. I have a new responsibility. Let's head to our lead report. And if you look right there, there's John. I can actually view the details. I just graduated and I want to study abroad. This is really great, simple information for me. I can, before I go to the visual, I can actually go ahead and I can go and see everything he submitted. And I saw that he's interested in computer science. Let's do it. I am excited to introduce to you the Student 360 dashboard. Here at the dashboard, I'm given a visual representation of a timeline of start to finish on whether that was a prospective lead and where his path needs to be guided into becoming an alumni, a student, or whichever journey he will have through the student lifecycle experience, not just the lead module.
Okay.
A really great part of this is that that communication can continue, and I have full history like you're about to see grow right here. So in the middle of the screen, we do have these timestamps, and I can see John submitted this inquiry from Facebook for a program, and he left that message, I just graduated, and I want to study abroad. Me being the very personalized employee, I'm perfect for this. I know how to help John. And it's just a matter of keeping track of John, helping John through giving him more details, and meeting those requirements through the entire journey. Let's begin doing that. We have all of these really simple yet effective tools. And the first one I need to do is let John know that he does not meet the requirements that I know an international student would require. Because I see he put Canada and I'm in the States, I'm going to at least use one of these really great templates here that could be used that are used to a one-to-one. You know, John and I could have a conversation, or we have many great streamlined automation tools to do the entire broad spectrum of all of your leads, or all of your students, or all of your alumni. This is a really great template in which I can go very simply, hi, I need your study visa.
Mm-hmm.
When I submit this, it begins that conversation with John. And you see here, and just like we did in the dashboard, the full conversation history is here. It's being analyzed so we can make better assumptions on how we can move along with John. And now I can update his status to contacted. That is a crucial part into ensuring that our leads do not stay stale. I do not want to lose them. I do not want them to fall under piles of people with very important questions.
Right.
So
kind of like that summer melt issue that
Yeah.
Tim mentioned, right? We spend so much on marketing and drawing people's attention, and then it's so important to be able to nurture that communication through the whole life cycle.
very important. And I now, like you were just saying, it should be even more important of my responsibility to add what I call context. So there's many more tools I can actually use right here before me that if other people later on top of me, or if this system were to get loaded with more, I could help and always make sure I find John. And one of those things I know is he let me know through like personal language that he is interested in a specific program, like an interested international student. So I can actually go here, I can click add tag, and I'll add the international tag to John. Again, another line item there. And now the influence of John's tag now is a descriptor across the entire board on my dashboard and can key into exact parts of decisions process mining, visual representations on our graphs, and making grouping. I can group John in with other international students that would require specific marketing needs, or now I know that this person has a different set of requirements to meet before I can move John along the journey. So I now have that ongoing responsibility with him. So I'm going to finish my time here by adding the context in this simple message saying, I've contacted John, requested a visa, and awaiting response. Keep it simple. The message is posted. All of the information is here, just like our history. But that now that I'm able to keep up with my lead, that would finalize our management module here. And when all of my leads meet their requirements, they are able to submit an application and their journey into the student experience starts. We are able to give them access to the portal, and the next assignment would be picked up, and you can actually see this exact timeline grow. The
Mhm.
data is internal, and I'm sitting right next to my team member, ready to initiate this ongoing journey for John. So I really hope he becomes an alumni in my journey, because I got the history to prove for it. I was right here holding John's hand. Anyway,
That's awesome.
I got gave some insight into adding great descripting details, showing representations of assignments, using really advanced yet like already predefined ruling to really make sure that everyone is taken care of.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I am
yeah, absolutely.
I am far from a college professor. Like the college I went to is basically just the 13th grade, right? But I can see
Yeah.
the value in this so clearly, right? If I'm an administrator that's in charge of such a complicated business process that has to span multiple disparate systems and that requires manual data entry, now through this 360 view, I have almost a chain of custody, right? On
Mhm.
each individual student from the initial inquiry that they make all the way through to admissions, which is really powerful. Not just that chain of custody data in there in the with the dates and the times, but also along the top, the stateful data, right?
Mhm.
So giving an administrator see, where each one is in their journey, and then look at groups of students in their journey and be able to garner really valuable insights. Dennis, what are your
Yeah. Yeah, just sorry. It's very
Go.
important to know that it does not stop here. And no matter if it's my choice or John's, if he chooses to respond to that thread, it actually initiates automation to pick it right back up. It puts the lead back on my responsibility, and we
Mhm.
continue on their journey. But thank you. I'm ready for you, Dennis.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
absolutely. Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
everyone.
much, Max. That was great. I think the focus we have here is on usability, and it's a
Mhm.
focus on education. So you'll see that everything there is completely um, qualified or designed for education. And I think that was our aim in terms of where we wanted to take the next steps on this product. This is obviously the first of a number of modules we've
Mhm.
demonstrated today. Definitely reach out to us to get more information.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really interesting use case, and I think you guys are just hitting the tip of the iceberg here. Really, really great demonstration, Max and Dennis. Thank you guys so much for your time today. If you'd like to learn more about System Micro and this application that you've seen today, reach out to info@systemmicro.ca. Check out decisions.com/events for our next webinar, which is next week while I'm at the ITC show in Vegas, optimize claims billing with AI automation and process mining. And reach out to sales@decisions.com if you're interested in spending some time with a cool cat like Tim Stahl here, who can show you how the decisions platform can help you work faster at a better margin with better accuracy. And be sure, if you're in Toronto, to check out MedTech October 15th through the 17th and link up with Dennis and his crew and spend some time with them. Thank you guys so much for another great webinar. Chase, play us out, brother.